Sellersburg is 93.9 The Ville. Time now for the Coors Light Louisville Basketball pregame show on ESPN Louisville. Cardinal basketball is presented by UPS Jobs. Graduate debt-free. Apply today at upsjobs.com. Geico of Louisville, where University of Louisville alumni could save even more on their auto insurance with a special discount from Geico. Visit geico.com. Wing Zone. Try the ESPN Louisville special. Order online at wingzone.com. Gist Piano Center. Trust in Kentucky. The University of Louisville online learning. Get the ball rolling on your career in sport management at louisville.edu/online. Liquor Barn. Proudly serving the Bluegrass State for 30 years. Now delivering. Great Flood Brewing Company. Louisville made and brewer owned. BJ Heating and Cooling. Call the experts you can trust. BJHeatCool.com. And the book at Horseshoe Southern Indiana, where Kentuckiana bets. Now, here's your host, Marcus Maven.
Welcome back to the official ESPN Louisville pregame show. I'm your host, Marcus Maven. Joining you live from the OPC Services Pest Studios. I think I said that right. Happy to be back. Happy to be getting ready for an opportunity to hit an 8-game win streak. Now, this is not, all win streaks are not created equal. This is not the 8-game winning streak, at the beginning of the season where you play 13 teams and you're lucky if you have 2 good games in the middle of that, so you really only have to win 2 to a complete 8 games. 8-game win streak in the month of starting February. So that means through your January, like you've just been dealing. But here's the thing. Today is a day where you just have to enjoy being in the ACC. When you see the environment that North Carolina is going to have coming off of 2 losses and a rivalry loss, when you see the energy, it's going to be one of those moments early in the game, before you get in full game watch mode, take the first 3 to 6 possessions. This is what I want you to do, just for your own mental health. The first 3 to 6 possessions of the game, I just want you to look at the crowd's reaction to every play. A bucket, a rebound, a block. Just because here's the thing. It could be a great game. It could be a blowout. And I mean both ways. We'll talk about why. But it's going to be such a great game. You've wanted to be excited about this level of basketball, ACC basketball, all your life. Like, let's be honest. And I'm just really excited about the visual you're going to get. Steve Rummage reminded me, do you remember when Jalen Johnson ran to the wrong bench? Kevin Keats over there. Team was looking like Louisville, looked like the exact same team. That was funny. It was just a good memory. But here's the thing. Louisville has a huge opportunity. This is one of those games, and this is one of those opportunities that didn't get properly appreciated headed up to the end of the season. Because, about 5 games ago, right before you get into the Duke game, what you're saying is you have to take care of your business against the Pittsburghs, against the Notre Dames, against the Clemsons, because Duke is going to be a tough one. And Duke is probably your toughest one, your least likely to win, and your biggest chance to get a good quality win, a quad 1 win. North Carolina State didn't really fit into that category at the time we were predicting what Louisville needs to chase whatever seed they're chasing. Of course, they're in the mode of chasing, conference titles and things like that. But here's the thing. In the Ken Palm, I'm not sure what they may be 56 right now. I'm not positive about that, but they're around that area. 56 in Ken Palm on the road is an opportunity for a quad one victory for this Louisville team. Late game the night before last or whatever, getting in one practice, having an early, quote unquote early game being 2 o'clock. It's not about the quad of the victory, it's about the maturity of the victory. Like, I can separate the statistical things that you can get out of this game, and I can separate the growth of the team. Now, every game since Pittsburgh has looked like, you've gotten a little cleaner, a little better, a little tougher, a little more focused in a certain area. Now, of course, you want them all to connect. You want to leave a game saying that was a complete effort, and you want it to be a complete effort, not because the other team is bad, but your team put it together defensively. You've even had the appearance of a zone out of nowhere that looked pretty good playing it. Now, I'm curious that, being that North Carolina State is a little banged up, being that North Carolina State, is going to have depth issues, I don't know if you'll see that zone, but I did like it. So that's going to be one thing to keep in mind when you see it. It may be an alternative defense that Mac can, throw in. Now, I'm sure he has a couple in his bag. I'm sure he has a 1-3-1 in his bag. A little bit somewhat of a press, but the zone looks like, and again, we didn't play it that long, but it looks like something that can be applied to the actual game usage on a game basis. That's a factor. Another factor, the starting lineup. That's been a conversation. Again, starting lineups never really bothered me. But it's an interesting enough point to have to discuss because of your second half, tendency to give away good leads when you go in up 10 and you don't seem to continue the momentum. And the other conversation is teams that rely on so much confidence. If they get clean looks early, like for example, a clean look over a fresh Kimball might not be the same clean look over to David Johnson, and that's just to making the argument to changing the start lineup. Nothing irritates the Louisville fan like feeling like a guy on the bench has to come in and guard a guy who's already hot. Like the fan base is smart enough to know this. It's not the second guy's fault after a guy heats it up. And all people who like to play defense, that'll be the first thing they point out. But here's the thing: shorthanded North Carolina State, you want to jump on those guys early on the road. Now most games, I would say, just weather their opening storm. Most games, when you're on the road, you're going to get an opening storm most of the time, and you got to weather it. Boston College, prime example. They've been playing better, getting a little healthier, but you want to just be able to, to weather the storms like they did. Again, anomaly, Jordan Ward goes crazy. You don't want to have to rely on Jordan Ward going crazy to weather an NC State storm. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't not exciting to watch, but like I said, that the thing I didn't enjoy as much, because a performance like Jordan had in the last game should end up in a blowout. Oh, okay. You're right. I got to pass off the line. 81-50, 93-9. Feel free to jump in. I'm curious to know the general fan anxiety level on this one today. It feels like, again, I'm not in people's living room, but I just feel like most of the Louisville fan base has almost been trying to avoid real sports talk, because that's what you do when you're sixth and you see people ahead of you lose. And if you handle your business, your rankings go up. That every game that you win, you get another opportunity to drop a clunker. Every time you win a game that you're supposed to win, but the Louisville fan is scarred. They're waiting for clunkers all the time, especially in a 7, 8, 9 game win streak. Like you're waiting. If you win 9 in a row in the ACC or something like that, not only are you waiting for a clunker, you're probably expecting 2 in a row. One of those. Okay, we go to Wake Forest and put up a clunker and they steal it, and then we come home and get busted by Virginia. Just that kind of thought process. It's probably all fan bases, but being just so much more familiar with this one. If you go to North Carolina State and don't put up the clunker, it's like, okay, you're that much closer to the end of the season. You're that much closer to, getting the seeds you want. You're that much closer to the ACC, not meaning as much. Not needing to, you get the double bye and before you know, you're automatically in, you get one win and you're in the semifinals, or, that's the route you want to have, but it's still, that's a pressure. I don't want to say pressure free, but the pressure of ACC tournament stuff is still, you're just worried about getting better, getting more mature, staying healthy, as opposed to fighting for seats. Because here's the thing, however the ACC is going to be looked at, and, you're gonna know the general area of your seating, but you want to be comfortable headed into that, that part of the season. Lawrence, thanks for joining us on the official pregame show. Start us off right, man.
What's up, Marcus, man?
Chilling.
The thing I want to see, I want to see today, I want to see Sam has his big game today. I got a feeling that Jordan and Sutton will be in foul trouble in this game, because North Carolina State going to put that pressure on, try to draw fouls on Jordan and Sutton, because they 2 guys to make his team go, and Sam's going to come off the bench and have a big game. I got a feeling that's going to happen today.
Listen, Lawrence, I appreciate the call. Here's the thing. I kind of agree, but differently. I agree with you. There'll be foul trouble. I think it's going to be on our bigs. I think the foul trouble will be on our bigs. Funderburk is a handful, right? He starts off the games so aggressive. They're going to try to establish a slow down pace, i.e. get the ball inside. We're not necessarily good at keeping it out the paint and digging when it gets in there. We've always kind of played defense like our big man can hold their own for the most part. Now, if the big man starts putting the ball on the floor, like I said, the big man has to make a good, big, strong move. But I'm just worried about, like I said, I'm just worried about the Funderburk big man matchup mixed with the little Teddy Valentine in there. It's funny. This morning I was doing a little pre-gaming with Steve Rummage, and he has a theory that maybe you gotta enjoy this. This is so Louisville fan. He has a theory that on the road, Louisville might have the officiating advantage. How is that possible, you might ask? Well, Steve Rummage surmises that Teddy Valentine likes to antagonize the home crowd. He likes to be the bad guy. The way you become the story is you go to North Carolina State and give Louisville all the calls. Which makes a little sense. I disagree. I like the theory. I do disagree. Like I said, I think Teddy Valentine during blowout games is stronger than Teddy Valentine, the antagonist. Repeat, Teddy Valentine during blowout games, the Teddy is strong in him when you're up 16. Because listen, that other team is going to the line over and over and over again. You are not going to get a foul call, and you hate to warn your players of something like that. You hate to be in a 16-point game and say, hey guys, I need you to be really, really aggressive, but don't charge, because this guy is not going to give us anything. So now you're shooting jump shots. now that's all in your head, things like that. And this team, like I said, I'd be surprised if Louisville didn't have a big lead at some point in this game. Now again, big leads, the reason spreads change when Teddy Valentine is announced. Everybody knows he keeps the games really, really close. 81-50, 93-9 is the number Philby. Okay, so I kind of touched on the starting lineups. There was a couple things that caught my eye about it. First, I do enjoy. You can't change up a starting lineup when you're on a 7-8 game win streak. To me, you just can't do that. Number two, their starting lineup. Listen to this, and you guys know how I do. I look for these words right here. Red shirt, junior, Funderburg. Sophomore. Their sophomore averages 10 points a game and 3 rebounds a game, and he's from St. Louis, Missouri. That's Helms. Third one, senior. 6'1" senior point guard. 13 a game. 4. I hate dealing with 6'1" senior point guards. Especially to Lawrence's point, they know how to get fouled. They know how to slow down the game. They know how to turn games into a grinder. Now, hopefully, the adrenaline of just having a packed house and the number 6 team in the country will get them speeded up. Will actually get the North Carolina State team speeding up and get them a little uncomfortable. Because I'm pretty sure their game plan was to be a little slower, be a little more methodical, a little more deliberate. But sometimes when that crowd gets rocking, you just want to make something happen. I'm watching the Indiana-Ohio State game as we speak. 34-43, Ohio State is winning. It's 14:43 on the clock. But again, senior 6'1" point guards, watch out. Because here's the thing. Senior 6'1" senior point guard from Cleveland, Ohio is probably going to be one of his last chances to face a team of Louisville's caliber. He didn't get a chance. I think he was out last year. I think he missed the game in the Yum Center last year. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he missed that game. Number 6 team in the country. This guy obviously was a top recruit. So this is like a game where you might see a whole lot of forcing out of Markel Johnson, or you just might see a whole lot of balling. Like I said, this is one of his last opportunities to get his name on the radar where it wants to be. He's just dangerous. Mike, thanks for joining us on the pregame show. What's on your mind?
Hey, Marcus, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Marcus, I've been a fan of yours since you played ball in Louisville. I always admired you, buddy.
Appreciate it, my man.
I think Louisville's going to pull away midway through the second half, much like they did against Boston College. Our depth is going to wear them down, and I look for Johnson to have a big game today.
David Johnson.
Yeah.
David. Big game against a senior point guard?
I think it's going to happen.
Now, listen, I appreciate the call. I mean, I would feel better. I would feel good if that happened.
Yeah, he'll penetrate and make some things happen.
Listen, I appreciate the call. Here's the thing. I'm not betting against David Johnson. I would not bet against him at all. But I would say it would not surprise me in the least if everybody's sitting at home, a couple minutes into the game. Come on, coach, where's David Johnson? Because that's what it is. It's David Johnson watch. We could be up. We could be up 17-4. And if North Carolina State scored 1 bucket and made it 17-6, we'd be saying, where's David Johnson? Right. That's a fact. But here's the thing. It would totally not surprise me in one bit if Markel Johnson got David Johnson got David Johnson off the floor with a pump fake and a hand check, a penetration hand check foul. That sent David right back to the bench. Like he's smart, he adapts, and I don't know if Coach Mack would just go 2-foul rule on a situation like that. But it just wouldn't surprise me because senior point guards scare me all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. But again, back to the roster. Redshirt junior, 1 sophomore. Markel Johnson, senior. C.J. Bryce, 6'5", 210. Redshirt senior, averaging 13 and 6. That's a man. A redshirt 6'5" senior, averaging 13 and 6. He's got, those are dangerous rosters. Devin Daniels, sorry about that. 6'5", 205, 11 and 5. Normally, we always have that big guard mismatch with Jordan. But you're talking about a redshirt senior and a redshirt junior that are Jordan size. You know what I'm saying? In this game. Jordan's coming off being hot. So Jordan probably still feels like he's extra hot. That's going to be an interesting thing. Is Jordan going to be mature? Like, I don't know if people remember, Jordan got the ball isolated on the first play of the game. He lowered his head, got the ball to the middle of the paint, kind of shot a fadeaway, but the point is he attacked on the first possession, and he could have easily rose up and took that jump shot. I would really like to see him take the first 1 or 2 possessions to at least a paint touch. At the very least, a paint touch to get his day started. Again, junior, senior, junior in that starting lineup. That's a dangerous thing. And listen, I like looking at ours. Senior, junior, redshirt senior. Actually, redshirt senior, junior, redshirt senior, grad, junior. Those are your adults on your starters. So yeah, like anytime we get uncomfortable on the starting lineup stuff, just all you have to do is just say that to yourself. A team full of grown-ups that are learning to compete under Mac's system should help you be a little more comfortable. I gotta ask another question. Does it bother you that Louisville's only favored by 3? Now, when you look at the NC State Ken Palm comparisons, and you start doing the math, and then you say, okay, Louisville's ranked in Ken Palm 10 overall, 15 offense, 20 defense. Ken Palm from North Carolina State, 56, 30 offense, and 114 defense. And you're only a 3-point favorite? That's another scary one. And the thing I'm trying to figure out, is it more us or them? I mean, do you feel like North Carolina State is on an upward trajectory? Are you factoring in that North Carolina State really needs this game? Are you saying maybe Louisville's a little tired, road trip, home, road trip, in a 72-hour span? Like, I'm kind of struggling with the 3-point game. David Johnson, last time he looked like he tweaked his back a little bit, like I said, there was a couple of little things that I saw from the game, but it surprised me when I saw a 3-point spread. Other little factors before I take a commercial break and get into the individuals of the game that I would think will be important, the actual factors of the game. This is it's a 70% free throw shooting team. North Carolina State, they beat UVA and Wisconsin. They like I said, they got some good stats. I think they're just, maybe their inconsistency is cost them a couple games. But I'll tell you what, we'll take one commercial break, which is going to be a short commercial break. When we come back, I'll talk about the lineups. I'll talk about who to look for. I'll talk about what to look for on the official ESPN Louisville pregame show on 939 The Ville.
With same-day pickup and delivery, you know who really loves fresh food? Amateur chefs. salad lovers, barbecuers, smorgasborders, hors d'oeuvres, fondue and flambeurs, midnight snackers, brown baggers, bakers, and throw it in the microwavers. At Kroger, you can get all the fresh you want at a great price with same-day pickup and delivery. Because we believe in fresh for everyone.
ESPN Louisville is your home for Westwood One's presentation of Super Bowl 54.
The San Francisco 49ers are going to the Super Bowl for the 7th time.
Coverage begins Sunday, February 2nd at 2 o'clock on all ESPN Louisville stations. We'll have all your coverage with the Chiefs and 49ers up until kickoff at 6:30. Westwood One's play-by-play of Super Bowl 54 on ESPN Louisville is presented by Caesars Southern Indiana, Joella's Hot Chicken, UPS Job, fueled by Kroger, and delivered by Papa John's.
This is Steve Rummage, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville.
Results may vary. See website for details. 2020 is here, and so is finally having 2020 vision. Now is the time to get your free LASIK exam at Jaffe LASIK to see if LASIK is right for you. LASIK can be a life changer, literally giving you 2020 vision in minutes. Don't wait any longer because it's by far the best time to see if LASIK can work for you. That's right. If you're looking for LASIK in Louisville, Jaffe Custom LASIK has advanced custom LASIK technology, and now for the best price of just $295 per eye. Jaffe is the choice for fast, easy, and affordable LASIK. Jaffe LASIK can correct nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism. And now for the best price of just $295 per eye in Louisville. Start your 2020 with 2020 vision. Schedule your free LASIK exam today to see if LASIK is right for you. Dial ** 2020 or visit JaffeLASIK.com. Call and schedule your free LASIK exam. Just dial ** 2020 on your mobile phone now or visit JaffeLASIK.com. Dial ** 2020. The exam is absolutely free. Just dial ** 2020 on your mobile phone now. That's ** 2020. Dial ** 2020.
Genesis Diamonds makes Valentine's more romantic than ever this year with a spectacular offer. Just spend as little as $199 on a fabulous piece of jewelry, and we'll give you fresh cut flowers, a box of chocolate, and a fabulous dinner absolutely free. This is an offer only Genesis Diamonds can make. Just buy any jewelry for $199 or more, and we'll give you some fresh cut flowers from Nan's and Craft Florists, a box of chocolates, and a gift card for her dinner at Louisville's exquisite French restaurant Brasserie Provence on Hurstbourne Parkway. Voted best dinner spot, and you're going to love the collection of affordable Valentine's gifts we put together. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, all the gifts women love. Make Valentine's one to remember this year with one-stop shopping. Pick out that perfect gift at Genesis Diamonds. Spend as little as $199, and we'll give you the flowers, the chocolates, and the Brasserie Provence gift card at no charge. Our treat. Genesis Diamonds, where Louisville gets engaged. Shelbyville Road Plaza next to Trader Joe's. Supplies limited. See store for details.
Here's what you missed on the Diener Show.
These people were really big fans of Billy Reed talking about spanking mint leaves.
Yes, I know that had Cooper mixtape material written all over it.
It was great. Any more comments on that, Billy?
Yes, you really do have to learn to spank the mint, and I think that's something that I probably would not be very good at.
Weekday mornings 7 to 10 on 93.9 The Ville, ESPN 680 and 105.7.
On Sunday, February 2nd, the nationally ranked Louisville Cardinals women's basketball team will be hosting the USA national team as they target their 7th consecutive Olympic gold
back in 30
in 2020. Join us in the KFC Yum Center to see the Cards battle some of the best women's basketball players on the planet, including Cardinals Hall of Famer Angel McCoughtry. Tip-off is scheduled for 2 o'clock. The Cards and the USA national team on February 2nd. For tickets and more information, call 502-GO-CARDS or visit gocard's.com/USA.
Something on your mind? Hit us up on the UPS Jobs text line, 3831-939.
Welcome back to the official ESPN Louisville pregame show. I'm your host, Marcus Maven, live from the OPC Pest Services studio. I knew I said that backwards. Here's the thing. Pause the show. Pause the pregame show. This is the last time. Help me help you. Whenever I leave, John Renfro, when you shared that link, you didn't click on it and hear that buzzing going on the YouTube. People, I gotta disconnect the computer to stop the buzzing. When you hear the buzzing on the YouTube channel, 8150-939 is the number. Please call in and let us know. I hate to imagine people sitting there listening to that god-awful buzz. Sorry. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to get to the game, and we're going to kind of attack it from backwards. Who needs to have a good game? First answer. Give me first answer. Who needs to have a good game today? You represent the people.
I'm going to say Steven Enoch.
Steven Enoch. Okay, that was a perfect answer. That was a perfect public answer. And now the public, he's speaking for you. He says Steven Enoch. Here's what I have for Steven Enoch as far as game notes. Steven Enoch had a good game. And these are game notes under who needs a good game and basically why. Steven Enoch had a good effort with bad results. Now, when you go back and look at the game, Steve had like 6 points and 3 rebounds, right? He was 3 for 3. He was 3 for 3 from the floor. Now, how does that a good game, a good effort, bad results? It's because Steven Enoch was doing things quick and aggressively, right? Like Steven Enoch just being in the right place and getting there aggressively. Even if he's supposed to be out of the way, he was darting to do those things. Now you notice that kind of effort because when a guy doesn't have good numbers, that's what you look for. Were you playing hard? Were you making moves? Were you in a bad position? Were you smart enough to not go over the back when you were in bad position? But not because of effort, like things like that. Like he kept himself in good position a lot of times. He made the good decision on not to dive. Like if a guy comes in and throws a floater, but he's in the right position, he's in the right place, he's making the right basketball move. You can go through the tape, you can review it, and you can say, okay, he didn't play bad, he didn't have the opportunities, and quite honestly, a few opportunities, you say, okay, we're gonna have to talk to Fresh Kimball about why Steven Enoch didn't have a better game. Just with opportunities. Fresh probably should have helped Steven Enoch get more opportunities. Matt, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away. Oh, on the pregame show, Matt. Fire away.
Right, pregame show. Man, I'm going to need to see double-double Dwayne step up today. Really, I think it sets up for him, dude. He's due. You talk about the bigs being in foul trouble, man. I don't want to hear one chest foul today. You know what I mean? Like the reaching and stuff, that stuff's going to happen, dude. Dude's a down low, he is. But you mentioned they got a 6'5" redshirt senior.
Wait, does Dwayne need to have one, or you would just like to see him have a good?
I would like to see it, because I'd like to see him at least get in double-figure rebounds. I think he's capable of that, especially today. But I'm looking at guard play, man. Johnson's going to be a handful. I think DJ and Fresh, but they might put Darius on him. I don't know, dude. If you stop him and everybody does what they do and Jordan gets his 20, 74-62, my prediction.
74-62. You'll be able to call on Monday and brag about that prediction if it hits. I appreciate the call. A couple things to touch on that one, just to put a bow tie on the Steven Enoch part of the conversation. I think he should be rewarded for his focus. Like I said, he looks really healthy now. Steven Enoch just looks healthy. He looks like he's in good, mid-late season body conditioning, which I'm going to have a little discussion about that with David Johnson here in a couple of seconds. But Dwayne Sutton. Here's the thing. Dwayne Sutton, of course, you love his rebounds. Of course, he's there to get the hustle stuff. But I've been a little bitey with him about taking the ball to the basket. When Dwayne Sutton comes off that, the big man dives, they swing it over to Dwayne Sutton. When he has his mind made up, he's going to the basket. He is a handful. He actually, against Boston College, not only did he take it to the basket aggressively, he pulled out the secondary move, the spin move, and got fouled. He was taking it to the basket, forcing contact. He's been doing it the last 2 games. My biggest criticism of Dwayne Sutton has been, you are so strong. They can't, if you get anybody off balance or approach you, because you've hit a couple 3-pointers, guys are coming at you a little off balance. When you commit to attacking their upper leg, your body is strong enough to get fouled more than you think. This team, there's no way this team should not, like Dwayne Sutton should not be leaving the game without 8 free throws. Like I really believe in his offensive game and his offensive upside more than so many people. And like, I just don't want him to waste all that potential, because his attacking, again, I know I say it a lot, Dwayne Sutton's attacking the basket frees up so much, and it puts the defense on their heels every time. Mike, thanks for joining us on the official pregame show. Fire away.
Hey, Marcus, I'm sorry. I got nervous there. Anyway, I had a diabolical thought yesterday. After I watched the Lady Cards beat that butt the other day, I thought, after Louisville wins the title this year, then the women are going to win the title, and then the baseball team's going to win the frickin' World Series, baby, and we're going to have the real year of the Cardinal this year. Write it down. So let it be written. So let it be done.
Listen, that is totally fair. And here's the problem. Here's the problem with what you say. It sounds funny, but it's not. Like, think about this. Vegas, if Vegas gave you a bet that Louisville men's, women's, and the baseball team will all win national championships, do you realize you wouldn't even get good odds for that? You wouldn't get good odds for that. They would factor in, okay, Louisville's, whatever, the men's team, okay, the women's team, yeah, they probably should be in the Final Four. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't get, like I said, you wouldn't get good parlay odds like you think. Now, of course, I mean, if you put 100 down, I mean, you're going to get paid, but not like you should for saying all 3 programs from one college are actually going to win the national championship. With Dwayne Sutton is strong enough to get fouled so much more. Also, Darius Perry. Now, I didn't purposely transition to this, but I don't necessarily think Dwayne Sutton needs to have a good game. Like, I would put him very, very low on the who needs to have a good game list. Now, I would like him to not have to have a big game. I would like him to have a good game at the free throw line, just getting it to the basket. I agree with Lawrence's call earlier. I would love to see Sam Williamson. Sam Williamson has I didn't mean to jump off into the Sam Williamson world, but it's going to bring me back to the Darius Perry world. Sam Williamson is walking, talking, looking like he has some ownership to his game now. He looks like he has expectations to play well. He is not trying to run the plays like the coach wants him to. The coach is giving him isolation plays now. When you start getting isolation plays and you have the expectation as a scorer, and here's the thing, if you notice, every shot that Sam Williamson misses, we either get a tip in or we got somebody really close to the basketball. Why is that? Because when he gets it, the team pretty much knows it's going up, and they're in a position to rebound, just knowing, okay, these are the 2 moves he's going to use. He just looks really consistent. And again, when the referees call a foul on him, there's not a bunch of my bad guys. There's not a bunch of putting his head down. He's now competing to play well and win the game. His expression shows it. I'm going to go back to the Darius point after I take this one phone call. Chris, thanks for joining us on the official pregame show. Fire away.
How you doing, Marcus?
Real good.
Hey, I'm going to go a little opposite. I think Coach Mack needs to have a good game. I think he has to have the ability to stop runs, put people in good positions tonight to be successful because they're going to press us and do things that we haven't seen yet. So I think he needs to keep us in a good place all night. And then secondly,
wait,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, I'm curious to know when you see a full court press, right? And here's the thing, I might be so tainted by where I come from. When you see a full court press and a team not be able to handle a full court press, just give me a round ratio. How much of that is coach versus player on not being able to handle a full court press?
I'm going to say it's about 40% coach, 60% player. But also the coach has to put the right person. If you put DJ in there full court pressing us, he's going to wave everybody off. Sometimes Perry likes to dribble too much. Fresh is a little small. So I think it's a combination of both of them, putting good people where they need to be and also having someone for a release.
Right.
And then secondly, I was watching the college game show today. When's the last time you've seen a first-place team in the ACC not be on the first line? So we need this game more than anything because they don't treat us like blue bloods. They were literally talking about Duke being a better team than Gonzaga after we went there and beat them. So we need this game so we can shut all these critics up.
I appreciate the call. I'm straddling the fence, which is the worst thing to do in radio. I don't know if we're not getting treated like. I still think the way we lost to Florida State kind of left an impression, and again that was a David Johnson less, But it's unfortunate when you have those bad games on the big stages. Like I said, you're Kentucky, everybody's tuned in. You're Florida State, you just happen to get a good night of viewership. And you got to admit, it looks different. It's hard to rank a Louisville team just because of their style of play. Like just the bludgeoning. It's not the clean, cute-looking offenses. It's not the quick ball movement. It just looks more grindy. And figuring out a way to win doesn't sell. Figuring out a way to win doesn't sell, game days. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those unfortunate things. I think once you got to number one, I kind of lost a little bit of that, I need my respect kind of thing. If you keep on handling your business, and everybody that comes here, everybody that does a game here, they spend 30 minutes of the telecast talking about how great Louisville is and how great the place is. So I guess I've relaxed a little bit on the disrespect card. I know my USA peeps will be so ashamed of me that I've calmed down on the respect card. Brought it around to Darius Perry. Quietly, very, very quietly, Darius Perry has probably been the first or second best player on the court for the last two games in a different way than, like I said, David Johnson, obviously, he's doing what he does. But Darius Perry, the two guard, and when I say two guard, you know what? I won't say top two best players. I might say valuable or kind of use those interchangeable. But a trending upward Darius Perry would start getting that, watch out now. Because again, the two guard Darius Perry that penetrates and uses his speed, I mean, it's a real problem. David Johnson being able to find people and they seem to play well together. That's a fact. I'm watching Indiana, Ohio State. Right now the score, Ohio State 61, Indiana 45, 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Yeah, I think Ohio State's going to close that one out. But Darius Perry has been rolling. And I think everybody's wanting to see, okay, Darius, is this the new Darius? Is this the Darius who's finally found his comfortable position? Now, I don't want Darius to have to rely on being the scorer from outside to be this new Darius. I really, really like seeing him get out in transition, get it to the basket, finish in transition. The aggressive Darius Perry, the competitive Darius Perry, that guy is totally taking the team to the next level. So Watch him. Watch that Markel Johnson Darius Perry matchup. Because here's the thing, Darius has the capabilities of tiring out a Markel Johnson really, really early. Not just tiring him out, but getting him uncomfortable, getting him out of his element, getting him a little agitated. Darius Perry is a competitor, and he can get your attention early. D, thanks for joining us on the pregame show. Fire away.
Marcus, man, you're stealing my – listen, Darius Perry and David Johnson, I mean, I love that. I love that backcourt. I love it. I absolutely love it on the defensive end and on the offensive end. I think it's great. You got long arms, and then you got that on-ball defender. I like it, and I want to see more of it. And I want to see a Gahan come in the game one time for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm pleading my case. No one's listening. No one's listening to us on the midday. Listen, put him in. Give me 5 minutes. We're going to need him.
Listen,
have a good one.
Appreciate the call. I mean, again, I have to remind myself more than anything, Aiden Gahan is playing behind two starting ACC centers. And taking minutes from starting ACC centers is almost criminal. It is almost criminal. I mean, doing what, again, especially when you have championship caliber teams and aspirations. Like, those two guys are not going to be in enough foul trouble to really need Aiden Gahan. And by the time you're late season with those guys, you're playing those big men with 3 fouls and expecting them not to get their 4th and 5th. That's just where we are. And again, I'm the biggest put Aiden in the game. And sometimes mine are just throw him a bone to keep him happy, keep him cheering a little bit. But again, the Darius Perry thing makes the team look different. David Johnson makes the team look different. Dwayne Sutton, when he's attacking the basket, when he's going to the line, he really, really makes the team look different. Let me see, Malik. This is the worst note that I have on my page. Malik Williams, solid AF. and I'll leave it. I'll leave you right there. Okay. Well, now we're gonna get to this one because we're getting into the specifics. Then we're gonna do the predictions, offensive, defense. Actually, if you have a prediction of an offensive player of the game, a defensive player of the game, or an X factor, feel free to jump in with our last couple of minutes. 8150-93.9 is the number. Fresh Kimball. Now, everybody's been so disappointed with Fresh plays. When you go back and look at Fresh and you see the shots they were hitting on him, you lay off a little bit. You keep on watching again, then you realize when Fresh was at his worst, and you do say worst in quotes, he had 2 back-to-back turnovers on consecutive plays. Now, here's the thing. If you remember, David Johnson had 2 back-to-back turnovers. Now, David Johnson's aggressiveness on the offensive end with the passing, with the just making a decision, attacking the basket, missing the shot, hitting the shot, getting blocked, getting rebounds. That was the difference between Fresh Kimball looking like it was the worst game and David Johnson looking like he had a couple freshman mistakes. And, of course, I hate that word because the mistakes he made weren't because he was a freshman. The mistakes he made were basketball play mistakes. Like I said, I've seen freshman mistakes are if, there's 0.56 seconds to go on the clock and you're taking the ball out of bounds underneath the basket and the referee tells you you can't run the baseline. And then as soon as the ball's in play, you run the baseline. That's a freshman mistake. That's the one you say, okay, he just doesn't know any better. And while I'm talking about David Johnson, this is one thing I'm going to take to you. But by the way, Fresh was my number one vote for he needs to have a good game. He shouldn't be number one, but I like to see him have a good game. In particular, I'd like to see him just have an awesome game. If he has an awesome game today, then he shows how tough he is. He shows he can bounce back. You win the game, and then I won't be worried about him having, bad games in down the stretch, because I feel like, okay, I know I can get fresh when I need him. David Johnson. Last interesting player-centric note before we do predictions. David Johnson. I said earlier, I thought he kind of tweaked his back a little bit. He kind of had that, and I don't know if he got hit, was like hit and hurt, but something wasn't quite right. But here's the thing. This is a freshman mistake now. And what I mean by freshman mistakes are the way David Johnson shows everybody in the arena what he can do in a layup line. Right? David Johnson likes to jump high, punch it in. He likes to show people what he can do. Hey, David, you were playing 4 minutes and 6 minutes. You could use all that energy in layup lines, and you could use, like I said, you only have a certain number of good jumps in your body. David, don't use any more of yours in the layup lines. Today's game is one of the first games where his body has been going through the rigors of conference basketball. Today, think about it. Today might be the game you first see a guy need a little bit of time. That's a clear out. David Johnson needs a little bit of time to warm up. Like I said, just, everybody knows the mornings you started waking up sore and you're like, why am I sore? And it's like, I didn't do anything last night. And then you're saying, uh-oh, getting older. David Johnson's body is starting to feel the impact of college basketball. Now, I'm not saying that's anywhere close to wore down, but it's one of those things like the thigh bruise that you just gotta loosen up. The turf toe that you realize is not going away no time soon. So you're just gonna have to put up with that for the rest of the season. The training room that freshmen despise and have to get through. David might be getting in that world. So I'm gonna be interested and see how loose he looks and how he handles the warm-ups and just stuff like that. So offensive MVP, with all that being said, offensive MVP today, I am going to go. Who is my offensive MVP today? Again, no disrespect, Jordan. We don't play that game. He's exempt from this list because he's always the offensive MVP. I am going to go somebody who can make a play. Offensive MVP today. You know what? I'm gonna give Stephen Enoch another shot. I'm gonna let him get Funderburk in foul trouble as opposed to the other way around, and I'm gonna see him make a wide range of jump hooks and 3-pointers because they don't want to run out and cover him. Stephen Enoch, I'm looking at him as my offensive MVP. Defensive MVP, I'm gonna definitely go Darius Perry. Listen, and here's the thing: everybody says on-ball defense when they're talking about Darius Perry. People don't realize opponents who put the ball down on the ground around Darius Perry, he doesn't let it come back up around that dribbler. His off the ball, on the ball steals or deflections are the most impressive. The deflections when he goes help side. Ooh, goodness gracious. His deflection level on dribbles is very, very, very high. I've been really, really impressed with that. So defensively, I'm going to watch for deflections out of Darius Perry. X Factor, I'll go David Johnson again. I think David Johnson is capable of, if he has a good game, he makes a 7 point game turn into 17. David Johnson is really good with the tempo. He's really good at making the smart play. I think David Johnson, ball in his hands. Like I said, any opportunities you have to stretch open the game, he helps you take advantage of Ryan McMahon. He helps you take advantage of the Stephen Enoch legs on the alley-oop. And he's helping Malik Williams even seem like so much more of an offensive threat, which he has not been. So predictions, I actually think it's going to be a ruckus environment. It's got to be a high scoring game, right? High scoring game. Actually, I think Louisville pulls away. I'll go 9. I'll say Louisville keeps the lead most of the game. They take it by 9. That's gonna do it for the official. And I might stay on YouTube too. Do a little commentary, a little game watch, just for your personal viewing pleasure. That'll do it for the official ESPN Louisville pregame show on 939 The Ville.